Hello, and a warm welcome to Insightful Gaming. Today, I'll be presenting to you one of my all-time favorite Titan builds in the game that, in my opinion, might just be the most potent melee setup you can get. Imagine this. You're in a heated battle, tossing shields endlessly, one after the other, and with each throw, you're gaining an overshield. On top of that, you have a never-ending supply of grenade energy. This game plan enables back-to-back super moves, making you feel as though you're stepping into the shoes of Captain America himself. You transform into a tireless machine, launching shields at your enemies non-stop. But that's just scratching the surface. This build equips you to effortlessly tackle challenging game scenarios, providing healing and protective shields to withstand all incoming damage. It's a setup that revolves around efficient shield throws and integrates seamlessly with the rest of our game strategies. Now let's talk about the star of this build, the Second Chance Exotic. The standout feature of Second Chance is its perk, which boosts your melee attacks to weaken your foes. Moreover, it has a unique property. Stunning a barrier champion with a shield throw recharges your melee completely. This is a fantastic new development for Titans in the Season of the Deep, despite already having the capability to hold 2 melee charges. Second Chance has always been a top-tier choice, even in higher-level content like Grandmaster. It's been a part of my arsenal since Season 20. Now, after stunning a barrier champion with a shield throw, you'll have your melee fully charged, ready to stun them once again or take on another barrier champion. Another exciting aspect of this perk is its significant weakening effect. It applies a 15% debuff, just like the Divinity perk, whenever you use a melee attack. And this effect refreshes every time you stun an enemy. If you find this video interesting and gets you excited about gaming, don't forget to hit that like button and share your favorite build in the comments section. So, let's get into it. The gameplay and combination strategy for this build are straightforward and easy to execute. Start the fight by launching a grenade at your enemies. As the grenade inflicts damage, you'll replenish your melee energy, and the resulting void explosions will make your foes vulnerable. Feel free to use your shield throw to wipe out groups of enemies, or to shatter barrier champion shields with a single hit. Our shield throw earns us overshields, which in turn refills our grenade energy significantly. With our exotic, Second Chance, we earn an extra shield throw and can eliminate barrier champion shields with just one hit. Our grenades and shield throws generate power orbs, providing a steady flow of grenade and melee energy. This combination allows for consecutive shield throws while replenishing grenade and melee energy. This build is immensely potent, and we haven't even started talking about our armor mods yet. These mods enhance the build by concentrating on energy regeneration and turning our shield throws into formidable attacks. In the downtime between your ability cooldowns, use your Monte Carlo to regain melee energy, enabling you to keep hurling those shield throws and continually reset your damage combo. So now that we've got a good grip on the general gameplay strategy, let's shift gears and delve into the specifics, our aspects. Today's terrific twosome is the remarkable offensive bulwark and controlled demolition. These two gems will morph your void abilities into a spectacular pyrotechnic display, sure to dazzle both you and your teammates. Our first feature is controlled demolition. This one's all about the bang. When you hit a target with a void ability or trigger a volatile explosion, your target becomes volatile themselves. Any further damage to a volatile target results in an explosion. Plus, it grants health to you and nearby allies whenever volatile targets burst in your vicinity. An alternative to this would be Bastion, which recently got a revamp and now gives you 2 fragment slots instead of 1. You could choose to use both controlled demolition and Bastion, but personally, I prefer to stick with Offensive Bulwark due to the enhanced overshield synergy it brings to the table. Speaking of which, let's shift our attention to the next aspect, Offensive Bulwark. This powerful aspect springs into action when you have an overshield or when you're standing within your Ward of Dawn. It supercharges your grenade regeneration by a staggering 400% and enhances your melee range and damage. What's even more exciting is the immense amount of grenade energy you receive when you have an overshield. Moving on to Fragments, we have Echo of Provision, which rewards you with melee energy every time you damage enemies with grenades. Echo of Starvation triggers Devour when you pick up a Void Breach or Orb of Power. Echo of Cessation makes you finish your final blows, create a burst of void damage, making nearby foes volatile. Additionally, taking down volatile targets results in a Void Breach. The main reason we use this fragment is for these Void Breaches, since they fuel our ability energy. Our final fragment is Echo of Persistence. This one extends the duration of the void buffs applied to you, which includes Invisibility, Overshield, and Devour. Let's now explore the abilities we've chosen to supercharge this build. First off, we have the Ward of Dawn. This ability conjures an unbreakable dome to safeguard you and your allies. But protection isn't all it offers. Passing through the Ward of Dawn blesses you with a temporary weapon damage boost and supplies overshields for you and your squad. This super ability is a total game changer, and thanks to the number of orbs we'll be generating, you'll be able to activate it quite frequently, ensuring constant protection. Depending on the situation, you can also opt to use the Sentinel Shield super. Next up is our grenade of choice, the Vortex Grenade. Known for its fantastic damage over time abilities, it's arguably one of the best grenades for wiping out enemies. However, if you have a personal favorite, feel free to use that instead, but we highly recommend the Vortex Grenade for optimal results. In terms of our barricade, we're going with the Rally Barricade for faster reload speed, improved stability, and shorter cooldown. It recharges 10 seconds quicker than other barricades, which can make a significant difference. In regards to movement, we've opted for Strafe Lift, but again, feel free to use your favorite movement ability. Last but not least, our melee ability of choice is the Shield Throw. This gives you a ranged attack option and supplies overshields when used on distant targets. Let's segue smoothly into the arsenal that's the heart of this build. The weapons we've chosen can really make you an unstoppable force on the battlefield. One superb addition to this build is 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘, which by the way recently got a hefty power boost of 25% in PvE, putting it in line with the rest of our auto rifles. Using 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘 alongside Second Chance lets you toss melee attack after melee attack. Take down an enemy, and you might instantly get a full charge, enabling consecutive use of melee abilities. On top of that, the Markov Chain perk amplifies 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘's damage, making it a great fit for most PvE content. It's a fantastic all-purpose exotic for any game mode, and it really holds its own in the Crucible. When it comes to our secondary weapon, we're going with a shotgun, equipped with a Repulsor Brace perk. Taking down a void debuff target gives you an overshield, adding to your resilience. Finally, for our heavy hitter, we've opted for a heavy arc machine gun. It's time to shift our attention to the armor mods that really pump up the power of this build. These mods are all about churning out orbs of power and rapidly refreshing our abilities and super. We designed our mods to accomplish three main goals: produce a substantial amount of super energy for repeated use of supers, offer unlimited melee, and guarantee a consistent supply of grenades and class abilities. So, let's dig into these mods. On the helmet, we've installed one hands-on mod, which provides super energy from melee kills, a feature we'll use a lot with our frequent shield throws. We also have a Void Siphon mod, which creates an orb of power whenever we achieve rapid final blows with a void weapon. Additionally, we're using a Heavy Ammo Finder mod to boost the chance of heavy ammo dropping with each kill. Moving on to the gauntlets, we've chosen Heavy Handed, a mod that generates orbs of power from powered melee final blows, a perfect match for our shield throws. We also have Impact Induction in place for rapid grenade recharging through shield throws, which results in an infinite supply of grenade energy. To wrap up our gauntlet mods, we have Melee Kickstart, which awards melee energy by using up 3 armor charge stacks. On the chest piece, we recommend choosing your preferred defensive mods depending on the scenario at hand. Switching to the legs, we've installed an Innervation mod, which decreases grenade cooldown each time you pick up orbs of power. Stacks on Stacks, which gives an extra armor charge stack when picking up orbs of power, is also in place. Finally, we've got Invigoration, which reduces melee cooldown each time you collect an orb of power. Lastly, on our Titan Mark, we've opted for One Bomber mod. This gem reduces grenade cooldown every time we use class abilities. We're also using the Reaper mod, which spawns an orb of power after using a class ability and landing the next weapon hit. And to round things off, we've installed Outreach, which trims down melee cooldown whenever we use our class ability. Let's step into the next exciting chapter of our supercharged build, the powerful seasonal mods. These are the finishing touches that round out our electrifying setup, supercharging your abilities to a whole new level and leaving your enemies without a defense. First up, we've got a selection of 5 diverse anti-champion mods to choose from. For our build, we're going to select one of each type. Let's start with our anti-barrier auto rifle mod. This clever little tool enables your auto rifle to shoot rounds that can break through shields and stun barrier champions, a handy mod indeed. Next in line is the Unstoppable Hand Cannon. With this mod, aiming down your hand cannon sights for a brief period will load a powerful explosive round that stuns unshielded enemies. This mod works wonders against unstoppable champions and keeps your hand cannons overcharged when their respective modifier is active. Moving on, we have the Overload Scout Rifle mod. With this mod, consistently landing shots on enemies with any scout rifle disrupts them, slowing their ability energy regeneration and reducing their damage. It's an excellent choice against overload champions, and it keeps your scout rifles overcharged when the corresponding modifier is turned on. Then we've got the Overload Trace Rifle mod. This one makes your trace rifles stun enemies when firing consistently, delaying their ability energy regeneration and reducing their damage output. It's particularly effective against overload champions, with your trace rifles remaining overcharged when the matching modifier is active. Lastly, for the first row, we've got the Unstoppable Glaive mod. Glaives you carry fire and explosive payload that stuns unshielded enemies. It's a strong counter to unstoppable champions, and your glaives remain overcharged when their modifier is active. Don't forget, your subclass can also step up to stun those champions. For arc users, the blind or blinding aspects will stun unstoppable champions. For solar users, try igniting them with ignition damage. For stasis users, freeze champions with shatter damage. And for strand subclass users, the suspend aspect will stun unstoppable champions. For the second row, we've selected the authorized mods Void and Melee. These gems offer a significant discount on the energy costs of all armor mods affecting your melee and arc abilities. In the third row, pick Unto the Breach. This one creates a Void Breach when you defeat a Void debuff target while your Void subclass is equipped. In the fourth column, we've got the Countercharge mod, which provides an armor charge stack when you stun a champion, and the Protective Breach mod. This one gives you an overshield or refreshes your existing one when you pick up a Void Breach. Finally, in the fifth row, we have Supernova, which causes your next source of Void damage to create a large weakening pulse when you pick up a Void Breach. We're also including Squad Goals, performing a finisher while you have Devour grants Devour to nearby allies when your Void subclass is equipped. And with that, we bring today's electrifying journey to a close. We trust you found this potent build not only useful but also enlightening. But this is just the beginning. A torrent of Destiny content is poised to flood your way. This includes an array of more intricate builds, comprehensive weapon videos, and an abundance of seasonal content. As we gear up to dive into the season of the deep, remember this vital mantra. In the ever-evolving universe of Destiny, the only constant is change. Be flexible, be creative, and above all, remain alert. Be ready for refined builds, innovative tactics, and detailed analysis right here at Insightful Gaming, your trusted guide on this gaming journey. Stay adaptable, stay innovative, and most importantly, stay vigilant. Keep your eyes peeled for updated builds, fresh strategies, and more in-depth analysis right here on Insightful Gaming. Until next time, have a great rest of your week.